Sometimes the body surprises us in ways we don't expect, and one of the most common questions I hear is this: why does the vagina feel loose sometimes? And the moment someone asks it, you can feel the mixture of curiosity, worry, and vulnerability behind the words. Maybe it's something you've wondered quietly. Maybe it's something you felt but didn't know how to talk about. Or maybe you're trying to understand your partner with more empathy, communication, and emotional connection. Whatever brought you here, you're in the right place. I'm the Intimacy Doctor, real talk, real science, real intimacy, and today we're going deep into this topic with clarity, compassion, and evidence-based understanding. Before we dive in, I want you to take a breath and remind yourself that bodies are dynamic. They change, they respond, they adapt. A vagina that feels looser, tighter, more open, or more responsive at different times isn't an indicator of worth, attractiveness, desirability, or health. It's a biological system influenced by emotions, hormones, context, and even communication patterns in a relationship. And the fact that you're here learning about it already shows emotional intelligence and self-awareness. That's real intimacy. So let's begin with something I want you to hold throughout this entire conversation. The vagina isn't a fixed structure. It isn't like a rubber band that stretches out and stays that way. It's more like a responsive, adaptable, muscular space that reacts to both the physical and emotional environment. And yes, emotions matter. Stress matters. Trust matters. Connection matters. Relationship science shows us that the pelvis is deeply influenced by the nervous system. Meaning sometimes a vagina feels loose because the body is in a relaxed, safe state. And sometimes it feels more open because of hormones or natural lubrication. And sometimes it feels less responsive because stress or disconnection is present. But what about when someone suddenly notices a change and thinks, why does it feel different today? That's where our emotional and physiological worlds meet in fascinating ways. Let's explore some major insights that help make sense of this experience. Point 1: reason the vagina might feel loose sometimes has to do with the nervous system, the same system that controls arousal, muscle tone, and how the pelvic floor naturally contracts or relaxes. When someone is deeply relaxed, experiencing trust, emotional connection, or feeling an increased sense of safety, their pelvic floor muscles often loosen slightly. Not in a bad way, in a receptive way. Relationship psychologists talk a lot about how emotional safety correlates with physical openness. When you feel emotionally held, your muscles soften. When you feel anxious, ashamed, or disconnected, they tense. Think about your shoulders. They rise when you're stressed and fall when you're safe. The pelvic floor does the same. So a vagina that feels open or loose sometimes can actually be a sign of comfort, trust, or emotional alignment with a partner or with oneself. What do you think about that connection? Does it change the way you view your own body or your relationship? Now, another major factor is hormonal fluctuations. The vagina is incredibly responsive to hormonal cycles. Estrogen, progesterone, and even cortisol play roles. Higher estrogen phases, for example, increase lubrication, elasticity, and what many describe as a more open feeling. This can make the vagina feel looser, softer, or more inviting. It's not a problem. It's biology doing exactly what it was designed to do. On days when hormones dip, tone can feel different. This is why some people notice variations across their cycle. It's normal, predictable, and nothing to be worried about. The body has rhythms. Intimacy has rhythms. Awareness helps us move with them rather than fear them. There are also times when the vagina feels loose because of lubrication levels. More lubrication can make the space feel more open, even though it hasn't physically changed. Lubrication acts like a cushion. The walls are still elastic and responsive, but the sensation shifts. Emotional connection plays a role here too. The more seen and understood someone feels, the more their body relaxes and lubricates naturally. This is why communication is a form of foreplay. When you emotionally align with your partner, the physiology follows. If this resonates, hit that like button so more people can find helpful, shame-free information like this. Another key insight involves the pelvic floor muscles themselves. These muscles can become strong, balanced, or sometimes a bit fatigued, just like any other muscles in the body. After certain activities, physical or intimate, the muscles might temporarily relax more than usual. This can create a sense of looseness that isn't permanent. It's similar to how your hands feel after gripping something tightly for a while. They naturally open afterward. Pelvic floor therapists explain that temporary relaxation is normal, healthy, and actually shows the muscles can both contract and release. A muscle that can relax is a functional muscle. In fact, being too tight can cause more problems than being too loose. That's one of those insights relationship science often connects with emotional well-being. We tend to tense when we're stressed, and when the stress fades, the release can feel like a noticeable shift. If you've ever experienced this, share your thoughts below. Your perspective might help someone else feel less alone. And then there's the psychological component no one talks about enough. Feeling loose sometimes isn't always physical. It can come from comparison, social pressure, or old myths that create anxiety. Many people have been taught to judge their own body based on unrealistic standards or misinformation, and that shapes perception. When someone expects their body to feel a certain way and it doesn't, the mind interprets that as a problem, even if nothing is wrong. This is where emotional intelligence becomes important. Instead of asking, "Is something wrong with my body?" a more compassionate question is, "What is my body responding to right now?" Because the answer is usually something emotional: stress, fatigue, lack of connection, or even fear of being judged. Intimacy is a full body experience, and our emotions speak through our muscles. The more you understand that, the more empowered you become. Another piece to consider is relationship dynamics. In relationships where communication is open and supportive, people often feel more in tune with their bodies. When communication breaks down, people can become self-conscious, and that self-consciousness changes how the pelvic floor behaves. Anxiety can cause tightness, but it can also cause a sense of numbness or disconnect, which might be interpreted as looseness. That's why emotionally safe relationships create better physical experiences. The mind and body are not separate. They never have been. So what can you do? One practical takeaway is to listen to your body without judgment. Notice patterns. Notice what emotional states make you feel more open or more tight. Notice whether hydration, fatigue, stress, or mood play a role. For many people, pelvic floor exercises, not for tightening, but for awareness, help them reconnect with their muscles. Learning how to contract and relax the pelvic floor improves control and confidence. Another helpful practice is deep breathing, especially belly breathing, which relaxes the pelvic muscles and calms the nervous system. When the mind softens, the body follows. If you're in a relationship, open communication is one of the most powerful tools. When partners talk honestly about what they feel, what they enjoy, and what worries them, the emotional pressure decreases and the physical experience improves. Relationship advice often focuses on techniques, but the truth is that intimacy improves most when connection improves. When trust is present, the body functions in a more natural, responsive way. If you feel comfortable sharing, let me know in the comments what helps. You feel emotionally safe, you might inspire someone who's listening and learning right beside you. And if you ever worry that something is wrong because you feel different on different days, remember this: variability is normal. The vagina is supposed to change. It's supposed to adapt. It's supposed to respond. A body that feels different from day to day isn't broken, it's alive. The more you understand your own rhythms, the more your relationship with your body shifts from anxiety to appreciation. You start to see your body not as something to control, but something to communicate with. That's emotional intelligence. That's intimacy. As we wrap up, I want to bring you back to the heart of this conversation. The vagina feels loose sometimes because it's responsive to hormones, to emotions, to trust, to safety, to lubrication levels, to muscle tone, and to the psychological world we carry inside us. Your body is not failing you. It's talking to you. And when you listen with curiosity instead of judgment, you deepen your connection with yourself and with anyone you're intimate with. If this helped bring clarity or comfort, hit the like button so more people can access real talk and real science delivered with care. And I'd love to hear what resonated most with you. Share your thoughts below. I read your comments, and your voices genuinely shape the future of this channel. If you want more videos on intimacy, emotional health, relationship science, and deeper connection, subscribe to The Intimacy Doctor and turn on notifications so you never miss a new conversation. And when you're ready, watch the next video where we explore how emotional safety transforms physical intimacy. It's a perfect follow-up to everything we talked about today.